let's start first with making this lovely coconut chutney. So this is made from fresh coconut. So here I am grating about 2 cups of fresh coconut. This is a traditional viri as we call it. Now we also are going to require 4 light green chilies which I've cut up into 4. Then we require 4 cloves of garlic and half an inch of ginger. Now what I like to do is I like to grate the ginger, because that way when we're grinding the entire chutney in the mixer, everything gets well ground and you don't have pieces of ginger in the chutney. So that's what I like to do. I like to grate the ginger. Now I like to also soak about half a cup of coriander in some water. So it has got some salt in it, and you will see that there's so much of grime in the coriander. After that, rinse it well. Then I'm going to be using the juice of half a lemon. I love to squeeze this lemon on this old traditional glass lemon squeezer. You won't imagine the amount of juice that you'll get. I mean, it's really amazing. So nothing goes to waste. So now I'm just going to grind everything together. That is the coconut, the chilies, the ginger, the garlic. I'm also going to be adding salt and some sugar to taste. And I'm going to add the juice that we've just taken out of half a lemon. Now I'm also going to add about 1/4 cup of water. And we're going to grind it to this consistency. So our chutney is all ready. So these are all the ingredients that we will require for the kaldin. Now here I have about 250 grams of basa fillets that I've cut into equal size pieces. Then I'm going to be requiring 1 cup of coconut milk. You can use the milk, the coconut packet, or you can use fresh coconut milk. This is some salt to taste. Then I require some haldi or turmeric powder, about 1 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin or jeera powder, and 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. I also require 6 cloves or lavang. Then I have 7 cloves of garlic which I've chopped very fine, 1 inch of ginger chopped very fine, half a tomato chopped very fine, and 1 small onion chopped very fine. Also 1.5 teaspoon of white vinegar. Now I list all of these ingredients down in my description box below. Now I just heated about 2 tablespoons of oil, and I just lightly like to fry the fish on both sides for half a minute or so. This not only flavors the oil with the lovely fish flavor, but it also makes the fish cook faster, and it just has a very good different type of a lovely taste to it. Try this out, guys. Instead of putting the fish directly in, just give it a little bit of a fry on both sides for half a minute each. Once that is done, just take out the fish and set it aside. And now we're going to add all the other ingredients. So we're going to start by adding the cloves of the lavang to the oil. Then we're also going to add our finely chopped ginger, garlic, and onions. Now we're going to fry all of this very well together. Now as this is frying on a low heat, keep an eye on it. We're going to mix up the powder masalas, that is the turmeric powder or the haldi powder, the coriander powder, the cumin powder, and the pepper powder. And we're going to add a little bit of water, about a tablespoon or 2, and we're going to make a little paste of it. And then we're going to add this paste to our fried onions and ginger garlic. Then I'm also going to be adding about half a cup of water to this, and we're going to let this water come to a boil. So mix everything well. You can keep the heat on a little higher, medium to high, and just keep stirring and let the water come to a boil. Now once the water comes to a boil, we're going to add this coconut milk. Then we're going to lower the flame and we're going to just stir it. Then I'm going to add some salt to taste. Again, give it a good mix. And then we're going to add the tomatoes. So mix everything well again. And remember, keep the heat on low to medium. And now we're going to add the fish back to this mixture. Once that is done, we're just going to cover it up and we're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes or till the fish is nice and cooked. Now you know that the fish is cooked because if you take a spoon or a knife and just cut one of the pieces gently, and if it really comes apart, that means your fish is ready. Now basa takes very little time to cook, and I personally like basa because it doesn't have many thorns. And now I'm just adding the vinegar and I'm going to let it cook for about a minute, and then I'm going to switch off the heat. And your kaldin is ready. I have tried kaldin with everything, with prawns, with kingfish or surmai and pomfret. All of them taste amazing, but I personally like basa. So now the heat is turned off and I just can't wait to dig in. So I have this rice cooking and I'm just waiting to have it. So here I've transferred the kaldin into a lovely serving tray or serving bowl. And I also have my rice all ready. I cook it the Goan way. I will leave a link on how I cook my rice, so you can check that link out by just clicking on it in my description box as well as my comments box. So it's time to serve. So here I have my rice, and now all I have to do is add this gorgeous kaldin, and I just can't wait to dig in. Well, friends, the fish is just cooked right, and the flavor of this kaldin is just mind-blowing. It's so light and so delicious, and it makes me so nostalgic because my grandmother, that's my dad's mom, and my dad used to make the best kaldin ever. And it just has a different flavor. For those of you who haven't had kaldin before, guys, give this a try. You can use any white fleshed fish or prawns, and in fact prawns goes very well if you add some okra or bhindi too. You just add about 4 or 5 okras. recipe. Now here I'm using about 200 grams or 1 cup and 1/4 cup of Goa jaggery, which I've just grated using a sharp knife. You can also use a grater. Now this is exactly 125 grams or 3/4 of a cup of rice flour that I've just put some water in and made a thick paste. Now this is 200 ml or just 1 cup of thick coconut milk. So we just have 3 ingredients to make this dodol. It's super simple and it's really very, very easy. So let's start, friends. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour about 3/4 of the coconut milk into the jaggery bowl, and either using a spoon you can just mix up everything, but I found using my fingers were a much better option because I could actually crush the grated jaggery very well, and I could also feel the texture, as to okay, now the jaggery is completely dissolved. Now a very important step, and please don't skip this step if you want to have a very smooth dodol dessert. Just take a sieve or a sift and just run this mixture through that. This is very important, friends, so please don't skip this sifting step. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the remaining coconut milk to this mixture, and I'm going to give it a stir. Look at the lovely color of this mixture. And as you keep cooking it, it darkens and it becomes into a beautiful color. Now I'm just going to add a pinch of salt and again give it a good mix. Like I said, if you're not able to get your hands on Goa jaggery here in Mumbai, the closest thing would be to use palm sugar, which is available in most superstores or supermarkets. Now I've just taken a mold because the normal shape of a dodol is like, a loaf. So this is my normal loaf tin that I use. And I'm just going to grease it very well with some clarified butter. You can use regular butter too, but this is also a very important step. Don't skip this step because that way when you're demolding the dessert, it comes out really super easily. So using your fingers or a brush, just grease the mold very well. Now I'm just heating a pan on a low to medium flame, and to this I'm going to add my jaggery and coconut milk mixture. And now I'm just going to add the rice flour. Just whisk it in well because sometimes the rice flour does tend to settle down at the bottom. So before adding it, just ensure that all of the rice flour has dissolved. If it hasn't, just add a little more water and add it in. And now, friends, all we have to do is continuously stir on a low to medium flame. Also scrape down the sides. Now here I was using a spatula, but after some time when the liquid started spluttering all over the place, I found that a wooden spoon with a long handle is a much better option because it doesn't get heated up. So just keep stirring. If you have a wooden ladle or a wooden spoon with a long handle, then use that. So now basically we just have to keep stirring this mixture till it thickens. Now I did put a timer on my phone, so I wanted to see how much time it actually took, for the entire process, and it took me exactly 20 minutes. So you can take the help of your family members and friends to help you in stirring. Or just listen, like I gave you a tip before in one of my Christmas recipes, just listen to your favorite podcast or put on some music or just chit chat with your friends and family. That makes the time really pass very, very fast. So like you see, I've switched to this to the wooden spoon with a long handle because that way it doesn't splutter and the spoon doesn't get heated up either. So this is such a super simple recipe, just 3 ingredients, but the end result is so, so delicious. Now, at this stage, when your mixture starts to thicken, you can add a few pieces of cashew nuts, which you can chop up a bit. I somehow like the simple, plain, smooth dal rather than having anything inside. I mean in it, but you can add a few pieces of cashew nuts. So now at this point, when your mixture starts thickening, you can do a water test. That is, just take about 1/4 of a teaspoon of this mixture. Just put it into a cup of, room temperature water. And if it forms into a smooth ball, then you know your mixture is done. Or when your mixture just starts leaving the sides of the vessel very easily and starts thickening up, you know that your mixture is ready. So now you can see the beautiful color. After cooking it, it has really darkened to a lovely dark chocolate color. So to make your work easier, you can put a timer so okay, when it's like 15-20 minutes, your mixture is going to get there. And now once it's ready, all you have to do is just pour it into the greased mold. You can use a glass one like I have, or the other tin ones that are available in the market. You can use a regular bread loaf tin too. And now just using the back of a spoon, just smoothen it out a bit. And then the most important part is that you have to refrigerate it for 4 to 5 hours. You have to be patient for this dessert to completely set. And now after waiting for 5 hours, very, very patiently, we're going to demold this lovely Goan dessert. Now just run a sharp knife through the edges. That makes it, come out really, really easily, like you will see. Now using a plate, just put the plate on top of your mold in this way, and then just turn the whole thing over, and you'll see how easily it just slides over, because first of all, you've greased your tin, and secondly, you've used a sharp knife to just loosen the edges. And there it is, friends, a very traditional and authentic Goan dessert. So simple, yet so, so delicious. So now all you have to do is just take a sharp knife and cut it up into thin or thick slices as per your choice, and serve it to your family and friends. It's a lovely tea time snack. You can make it for any, festivities, like even for Christmas or any other special occasion.